Today we're going to rebuild a desktop replacement gaming laptop pretty much from bare bones. So far I've replaced, taking the motherboard out, and I'm going to be putting a new motherboard back in. Behind me you can see where I wised up on the screen. I've taken a couple of pictures of this thing as I took it apart. I'll see if I can't find some pictures at the end when it's all back together again and working. But in the meantime, let me show you where we're at. Hello, new motherboard. Hello, old motherboard. And a ton of screws that we have to get back into. So for those of you that have seen a Sega 9750 before, you might recognize the front of the Clevo D900K chassis. Perhaps you've not seen the inside though. Okay, so this is the chassis. The bottom off, the motherboard will rest on top of this. You can see around the edge there's a ton of connectors that all need to be plugged back into the motherboard. Bag of stuff here to plug into the motherboard in various places. The infamous video card, the reason we're replacing this thing. That's a GeForce 7800 GTX with 256 megs of RAM on it. Basically all these pieces, the motherboard first, and then all the modules need to fit back into here. And then we need to reattach the monitor, which we'll find right here. See if I can... It's not in the best of shape, but then nor is the lens on this camera. All good. You can see that I'm grounded via the chassis of another working computer. This is a laptop, so hopefully that'll be enough. As I said, first thing we're going to do is take off the base plate from the old motherboard. Which appears to rattle a little bit for some reason. So we'll just lay that here. And I believe we have something to help us get these things off on the back. Okay, so with that off, with the exception of the processor and this fan lead for it, the only thing remaining on this motherboard that we're going to need to transfer over is a whole bunch of sticky pads. So we'll dump that there for the moment and take our brand new motherboard and cut this over here. Okay, well that wasn't strictly necessary. Let's take that out more than once. So we'll take this little sticky, peel it off. Okay, and hopefully that will transfer easily to the next one. And we'll close that off. And obviously at this point we have a certain kitty cat who would like to be famous. Wow. Note to everyone out there, don't use a cat to fix your laptop. Too much fluff. So. Stick out here. Perfect. And then we get to put those screws back in again. Now the reason they were so hard to get out in the first place is because of this helpful blue sealant that's on that screw. Well, it's still there. I'm going to put it back in. I'll just add extra strength. Start over on the right hand side. Okay, now that we have the base plate back on, thinking it's going to be a little tough to transfer the CPU later on, since it's bound with the same type of bolts to the motherboard. So let's take a look. Right. What we can do. Let's take that out. Do just fine. And equally importantly, zero residue cleanup towel, coffee paper, coffee filter paper. So we'll just take the shredded piece of that, and really you shouldn't get your own oils on this, but cleaned up a little bit of stuff on top. I'm going to hit some of this alcohol, which should do a much better job. Yeah, that's way too much. Share that a bit. As promised, here is a look at that nice cleaned up CPU stripped out from the motherboard. It's what is it, an Athlon X64X2 4200 if I recall correctly. Okay, so we decided to put things back in the exact same way we got them out. Otherwise it's just too risky. So we're going to put the processor right back in, right up. Okay. And on top of that, we'll put straight in. There you go, it only goes on one way around. That's good to know. And put these guys back on. And this guy comes right over here. The thing you have to be very careful about here is remembering which screws you used in which item. Luckily, most of the motherboard screws are small silver. And you do well to purchase a magnetized screwdriver. This. Next up is this little guy, which is for the ID connectors, and it hooks directly onto the motherboard. There is a socket underneath. And this guy goes right on this far edge here, which I don't believe we'll put in until after we have this in the chassis. Let's pull off on that. Okay, right, well then. Top motherboard.